We got to see advancement in the Owen Hart tournament for the men and women's side of things. Will we finally see a unification in the tag team titles for WWE, or will the Usos continue to hide behind Roman Reigns? I also ripped open the pack of WWE Tops 2021. Check out the 2-bit polls I have there. And more importantly, what is next for Judgment Day? I love that faction. This is the Wrestling Replay. Welcome to episode number 8. I am Cato, and yes, we are back on our regularly scheduled program. So you should be viewing this for your Monday commute. Happy about that, thank goodness. Hope everybody had a great weekend. Me and myself, I finally got to get my hands on some WWE Tops 2021 product. And I pulled this awesome, cool Charlotte Flair autograph, $84.99. I wish it was number 1, but you know, couldn't beat that. Still got an autograph from Charlotte Flair. And I got this Shayna Baszler. The cool thing about this is actually a piece of the ring mat from Payback 2020. So that's pretty dope. I'm going to get a lot more of those products. And I'll probably start doing rips live on this channel. So if you like to watch WWE Tops and get ripped open, I normally do NFL and NBA, but hey, why not start my wrestling collection as well? So I'll start doing that on this channel as well, so you can view that if that's what you like to do. Now, let's go ahead and get into our week of wrestling. We had a lot to talk about. Well, I guess I got a lot to talk about because some good things happened, and then there was some things I'm like, come on, this don't make no sense. But I feel like that's every week now. Monday Night Raw. Let's jump into Monday Night Raw. The big takeaway for me is Cody Rhodes looking like he was going to move on from Seth Rollins and that whole rivalry. But unfortunately for him, Seth Rollins came and screwed him over in the match against Austin Theory for the United States Championship. Cody would have been a great United States Champion, but I don't mind the title being on Theory as long as they keep it on Theory for the long run, at least for like a couple of months, so we can start bringing some type of longevity, some type of prestige back to United States Championship, especially with the world title and universal title now being unified. This is the only mid-card title, so your mid-card title really have to be something worth having. It has to be a stepping stone to get to that next level. So the match was pretty good. Surprisingly, the match was way better than I thought it was going to be. When I first seen that these two was facing off, I thought it was going to be a little lackluster, but no, this was actually a really good matchup. My only issue is we had the way the match ended with disqualification, mainly because we had a match with Finn Balor and Damian Priest end in the same fashion. You got Judgment Day. You finally revealed your third member. Rhea Ripley, she was dominant, and Liv Morgan won by submission. So now with Damian Priest going against Finn Balor, someone who we know should have a great matchup, someone we know who has chemistry in the ring with these two gentlemen. For this match to end in a disqualification was a little bit disappointing. If anything, I'd rather, Priest just kind of come out, not really dominate Finn Balor, but having a situation where Priest is going against a jobber. Let him dominate a jobber or, a lower mid-card person, and then have Finn Balor and AJ Styles run in to stop an after-match beatdown, and we could have got the same at the end match result that we got anyway, because after the match, it pretty much has led to Judgment Day standing over AJ Styles and Finn Balor. But I don't like Finn Balor going in that match and then getting a disqualification win, because I feel like Judgment Day, this should have been a episode where they all came out and looked strong in all of their matchups. And if you're going to continue this storyline with Finn Balor and AJ Styles, they should have came to make a save so they could look like heroes at the end of the day. Judgment Day would have looked strong in their matchups, and everything would have been good. Now, also in our main event, we had Bianca. I'm jumping around a little bit because these are the 3 matches that could have been absolutely amazing that ended in horrible fashion. We had a disqualification between Bianca Belair going against Asuka. Becky Lynch got involved. She attacked Bianca Belair during the match. So it's like you could have got to the same result that you wanted to get to without having 3 disqualifications in the same episode. That's insane. it's kind of like you just threw your whole script out the window and say, you know what, let's just make it a disqualification for the match. All 3 matches, big matches, to all end the same way. Sloppy writing, the same way I felt about AEW and the whole Scorpio Sky and Sammy Guevara. Face turn, heel turn, face turn, heel turn. Same situation here. I think it's just sloppy writing. I think they could do a lot better. But we got to see probably my favorite match of the night, RK Bro versus the Street Profits. They managed to retain their tag team titles. The Street Profits have to do something, man. They got to turn it around. You want this tag team to remain relevant. You can't keep giving them shot after shot after shot, and they constantly lose against the champions when it means the most. Yes, you got a victory over RK Bro when the titles weren't on the line, but if you're going to make the Street Profits be who they are, either A, let them start from the bottom and build their way back up. Oh, it's hard to start from the bottom when you don't have many tag teams, huh? So they're going to have to do something to make the Street Profits relevant again, because after this feud with the Usos, whoever takes those tag team titles, we're going to have to figure out who's going to be the next contenders, unless you're going to run it back. But either way, you're going to have to find some new contenders after these 2 unify the titles. We got to see Alexa Bliss. Oh, dope. She came back and not in that whole, zoned out state that she's been in when she was with Bray Wyatt. It looked like we're getting a little bit of the old Alexa Bliss kind of mixed with the new Alexa Bliss. So this could be a good thing for the women's division. I like that. She defeated Sonya Deville. What else we had? Veer Mahan. I like the way he's getting rolled out. He had another dominant submission win over Frank Lumen, as Sasha Banks and Naomi defeated Doudrop and Nikki Ash. I like how this is a slow build between Doudrop and Nikki Ash. Doudrop is trying to get Nikki Ash to focus and really lock in and be the best Nikki that she could be the best wrestler that she knows she can be. So she want her to step her game up pretty much. Nikki Ash, she need to drop the Ash and just become maybe Nikki Villain. I don't care. But I can see Nikki turning dark, coming out all black mask, all black attire. That would be pretty dope, and she can match with Doudrop. I think this will be a really good tag team once these two start to actually mesh together. But I like how the story is being rolled out. As far as the action went in Monday Night Raw, we had Tommaso Ciampa. He defeated Mustafa Ali with the help of The Miz as a special guest referee, and that was pretty much Monday Night Raw. Now, my issue with Monday Night Raw was the disqualifications, because these were matches that would have been really good matches if you just let these go one-on-one. But if we're not going to do it that way, then I felt like it was alternate ways you could have got to the same results with just better writing, and that didn't happen. So for me, the action on Monday Night Raw was it was okay. It was mid, but the storyline advancement on Monday Night Raw was really good. And if you know me, listen to me, one thing that I really like is storyline advancement. So let's go ahead and move on to SmackDown, where we got to see RK Bro pretty much come up there, let the Usos know, hey, you all notice we want to unify. You escaped at the pay-per-view by your cousin Roman Reigns pretty much coming out there and saving you. And that led to a match between Matt Riddle and Sami Zayn, which was a really good matchup. If you know me, I love Sami Zayn. Don't like the way that he's actually being utilized right now, but I can't deny the fact that, he's having fun. He's looking like he's really enjoying himself at this point in his career, so I can't argue that, but he's one of your best in-ring workers. So him and Matt Riddle, of course, tore the house down. That was my favorite match from SmackDown. Matt Riddle managed to come away with the win, and the Usos also accepted the challenge to unify the tag team titles. So that's a win-win for me. We also got to see the new SmackDown champion, Ronda Rousey. She went and defeated Raquel Rodriguez in a match where Rodriguez actually dominated most of the matchup. She used her power and strength advantage to pretty much keep Ronda at bay, and it was a small package. I'm a sucker for roll-ups and small packages, but a small package for Ronda Rousey. They shook hands afterwards, so this could possibly lead to maybe a title match later on for Raquel Rodriguez. If I'm WWE, it's no way I really want to feed Raquel to Ronda Rousey. You already did it, but not in a situation where the title's actually on the line. This is my new talent on SmackDown. She's dominated NXT. This could be someone that I could see going against Charlotte Flair for the long run. We also got Bayley coming back in the fold. We don't know exactly what her role is going to be yet. Sonya Deville is back in ring. You know she could jump brands. So it's a lot of things that could possibly happen with Ronda Rousey holding that title, but I hope they don't rush out Raquel Rodriguez too fast. We also see Happy Corbin. He destroyed Madcap Moss with a steel chair, so it looks like that feud is not over. I really want to see Madcap Moss move on so I can see what else he could do. We had the women's tag team champions, Boss and Glow is what they're going to call themselves now, defeat Natalya and Shayna Baszler in a tag team matchup. We also got to see Gunther. He destroys Drew Gulak backstage, and Butch defeat Kofi Kingston by pinfall. Whoa. That's a real big victory for Butch. No matter how it happens, that's a real big victory with Butch holding the win on a former WWE champion in Kofi Kingston. So, where do we go now? This trio is pretty dope. This Sheamus trio that he managed to put together, he seems to be the leader of this trio right here. I like Sheamus in the tag team, and I don't mind Butch being the one that's going to go ahead and handle all the one-on-one matchups. That seemed pretty good, and I like the fact that they're putting him in there with really good talent. They're not throwing him in there with jobbers or guys he should dominate. They're throwing him in there with guys who actually have a real good background as far as championship lineage goes. So I don't know where this is going to possibly go for Butch. I don't see him being an Intercontinental Champion, not as this character. Like, I really don't like the Butch character, but it does fit with what they're trying to do as far as this trio go. I would love to see him just go back to how he was in NXT. Let's just let him be the regular Pete Dunne. Let him go out there and dominate. That Pete Dunne, I could see holding the Intercontinental Championship. Butch, I'm not sold on yet. But a match with him and Ricochet would still be an amazing matchup. So we got to see what they're going to do moving forward with him in a singles competition. All right, so let's go ahead and jump onto what you guys like to call the fun side of wrestling. That's AEW. We're going to start off with AEW Dynamite. The show was actually my favorite episode of the week as far as SmackDown, Raw, Rampage, Impact, NXT, all that goes. This was actually my favorite episode of the week, and it's not normally like that, man. Sometimes I'll be having a lot of issues with AEW, but this week was amazing as far as the action goes. Even the storylines, the segments, everything was fired this week. I can't even front. We got to see Dax Harwood face off against Adam Cole in the Owen Hart Foundation men's tournament, in a match where I felt like it really shouldn't have took place. Honestly, I felt like Dax should have been on the other side of the bracket. I feel like Dax is someone that should have made it to the finals in this tournament as far as the way he got here, how much he feel about Owen Hart, well, how much FTR period feels about Owen Hart. It's something that they went out and said week after week. So it's something that everyone knew, and it's a storyline that you kind of fed into. Now, in this matchup, Dax Harwood was not successful against Adam Cole. Adam Cole did manage to defeat him, but I feel like Dax should have went to the finals for the fact that he embodies, when I think of Owen Hart and an Owen Hart tournament and something that's honoring him and his legacy, I feel like Dax Harwood's style of wrestling is the style that I think of. It embodies what I think this tournament should be like. And I think there's a few other people in the back, like Daniel Bryan, like Yuta Wheeler, like Daniel Garcia. It's a lot more. If you want to jump on the Impact side, like Jonathan Gresham, Josh Woods. I think all of these guys, I'm sorry, that was ROH, but there's guys in Impact as well that I feel like embodied more of the style that I would think of when I'm putting together an Owen Hart tournament. And that's somebody who is great in-ring workers. That's one. A little bit of high-flying ability. And most importantly, they are great technical wrestlers. And that's what I look for. Adam Cole, he's a good technical wrestler, don't get me wrong. And I don't mind him winning, but I just feel like this was a case of where star power really just is what advanced him in this tournament. Not that he was the best wrestler going forward to win the tournament. I feel like it was just star power. So if that's how you're going to book it, I mean, I feel like you should have just put him on the other side of the bracket. Honestly, I feel like Cash and Dax should have met maybe in a semi-final matchup to see who goes to the final. That would have made for a better story, because week in and week out, it would have been, well, what if we have to meet up? what if we have to wrestle each other? And it's a whole story of, we'll get there when we get there type situation. We also got to see CM Punk, and he defeated John Silver, but I am so pumped they finally start putting John Silver in these one-on-one matchups on Dynamite. He's been on AEW Dark. He's been great. If you look in their comments, I'm probably the one that's facilitated for him to be used more. He's a great in-ring talent that I think they could spotlight a lot more on their programming as far as TNT and TBS, and not just on YouTube. We got to see Danhausen. He lost in a quick fashion to Tony Nese. It pretty much just led to Hook coming out there making a save for Danhausen. I guess the more important part is that they shook hands. But at some point, we're going to have to get Tony Nese and Hook, which I don't mind. I think Hook is slowly becoming one of those possible guys to be able to put AEW on the map. Like, the crowd loves Hook. He barely talks. He doesn't say much at all. So it's not like he's killing segments. They love Hook for what he does in the ring. And he's charismatic, even though he says nothing, as crazy as that sound. We also finally got to see MJF and Wardlow. They got that match signed. They're going to make that happen at Double or Nothing. Wardlow will finally be released from that contract. He will move on, should become an AEW champion. He has all the makings for it. So hopefully a win over MJF. For one, it means a lot. MJF does not lose often. So with Wardlow getting a win over MJF, now I'm foreshadowing. I'm thinking he's going to win at Double or Nothing, because if not, he will not be able to sign an AEW contract, and that just does not, make any sense. But unless he's going to have to go back to being like MJF's right-hand man, nah, that's going to be trash. Don't do that. Please don't do that. But he should win that matchup, so that should push him up into, if not the AEW championship right now, at least into the TNT championship. That should be a good match with him in Scorpio Sky, so I'm for that. I like that. We got to see the FTW champion, Ricky Starks, defeat Jungle Boy in a one-on-one matchup where Jungle Boy actually had the match won, but it was Swerve Scott who was trying to come out there and keep the match, one-on-one and fair down the line, which led the opening for Ricky Starks to go ahead and defeat Jungle Boy. Jungle Boy had the match won, which led to Keith Lee coming out there, Jungle Express coming out there, Team Taz coming out there, and the FTW title is still around Ricky Starks' waist. So I don't know what's going to transpire between these three tag teams. What could possibly happen, because we know that Keith Lee and Scott definitely had the eye on the AEW Tag Team Championships. So I wouldn't mind that leading to a match between those two teams. Jungle Express has been managing to run through some of the best teams in AEW. So this is one of the teams they have not faced yet. So this will be fresh, a new look, and great in-ring action for sure. My only thing I would want to see happen, though, is Ricky Starks and Hook. I want Hook to come back and take that FTW title from Ricky Starks, because FTW pretty much embodies the style and everything that Hook represents. So it would make perfect sense if Hook was the one to actually, go on and defeat Ricky Starks, because he's already separated himself from Team Taz. I'm pretty sure Taz is going to make sure that the big man does not get involved. So it will be a legit one-on-one matchup. I think that would be pretty dope for Hook. And it's not like you have to put any type of AEW championship on him. The crowd still love him. He's your FTW champion. Taz can be proud of him. And I think that will work out. I like that. I like that matchup, period. We got to see Jamie Hayter. She managed to lose against Toni Storm. She lost to Toni Storm, with Toni Storm now advancing in the women's Owen Hart tournament. That is a matchup that I can't wait to see between Toni Storm and Dr. Breaker. She looks even better now than she did in WWE. So Toni's well polished. I thought the little finisher move, the spike power driver, a little sloppy, unless that's how she liked to do it. But that one was a little sloppy to me. But other than that, everybody came out okay. Nobody was hurt, injured. But we're going to do the matchup with Britt Baker and Toni Storm, I believe, in that Owen Hart tournament. And I think that's going to actually roll into a really big feud between these two women down the line. I think Britt Baker or Toni Storm is going to be the ones to get that Women AEW Championship back. Not the TBS, but the AEW Championship from Thunder Rosa. And I think that's going to lead to a nice feud back and forth for maybe a year or so. I don't know who's going to step up and really take that TBS title away from Jade right now. Jade is on fire. She's legitly money. She's legitly money, and it's hard. For one, they don't build up women that much in AEW. They haven't been, and the ones they do build up, they go after the AEW championship. So I don't know who and how or when Jade will ever lose that TBS championship, but it's going to always be the second title to compare to the AEW Women's Championship, which makes sense. Now main event, awesome matchup. Owen Hart Men's Tournament, final match, final match of the night. Jeff Hardy, Darby Allin. This is actually a dream matchup when you know what these two guys bring to the ring. You know what these two guys like to do. Insane matchup. But for this Owen Hart's tournament, with this being a no disqualification type matchup, I don't think it fit in for the Owen Hart tournament. I can watch them two wrestle all day long, for sure. But like I said before, I feel like this tournament should be a certain style of wrestling, a certain style of matches. And if it's not that, to me, I feel like it takes away a little bit from the tournament. But don't get me wrong, this matchup was absolutely fire. I mean, easily match of the night. Jeff Hardy managed to put on a crucifix pin to Darby Allin after Darby Allin hit the coffin drop. All signs point to Darby Allin actually having this matchup won. But it was insane spots. Darby Allin coming off the ladder onto the chairs. I'm pretty sure everybody's seen that circulating around. Jeff Hardy hitting the swanton, missing onto the steel steps. That was crazy. These two together is going to be crazy spots. I wish it was a situation where Darby had a partner that was kind of on his level or close to his level, so we could really see a Hardy's Boys and a Darby Allin tag team matchup. Because ain't no way Sting ain't doing all that. He ain't taking them bumps, dog. So that would have been a dope matchup. But that's fine. I think when we get the Hardys versus the Young Bucks, that's going to be everything we want to see in the matchup, a tag team matchup anyway. We got to see the Death... Oh, time to jump on the Rampage now. AEW Rampage kicked off with the Death Triangle going against the Butcher, the Blade, and Mark Quinn. Death Triangle managed to dominate that matchup. The biggest takeaway from this was the House of Black coming after the match. Pretty much is putting the Death Triangle on notice. Like, we're here, letting you guys know it's on. So the lights go off after the matchup. The House of Black appear. Lights go off. House of Black is gone. But as far as this matchup go, it was a good matchup. Butcher and the Blade and Private Party are two tag teams that I thought was like really good. Was really pillars early on as far as the younger tag teams go. Even though Butcher and the Blade is not that young, but well, I'm gonna say newer tag teams. I'm not gonna say younger. Newer tag teams go in AEW, right? I feel like the Butcher and the Blade are legit tag team. They should have had a decent run instead of being thrown with the Matt Hardy faction. I think Private Party, they kind of lost a little bit of steam when they got thrown into there with Matt Hardy's faction. And now these two tag teams are pretty much trying to find their way. And you know, cuts are coming up. I hate to say it, cuts is coming up. It's like that for every promotion. Everybody gets mad at WWE cuts, but guess what? AEW are going to have to make some cuts also. So I don't know if we're going to see these tag teams for too long. And it's not like they're really getting a chance to really, you know, put themselves back on their map or reestablish themselves inside of AEW's tag team division. You got them in 3-man matchups and stuff like this. It's like, come on, man. It's a situation that kind of sucks for the tag teams. Hopefully they do enough backstage, or hopefully backstage management believe in them enough to maybe extend their contract, because Private Party is a really good young tag team. Top Flight is another really good young tag team. So I hope that these guys do enough right now to pretty much make it past the first wave of cuts when they have to happen. We got to see Bear Boulder go against Shawn Spears. Shawn Spears wins this matchup easily. It's pretty much Shawn Spears just pretty much gearing up and making him look good for whenever he has to go and face Wardlow. I believe it's going to be MJF and Shawn Spears 2-on-1 handicap. No, Shawn Spears versus MJF. Versus Wardlow inside of the steel cage with MJF as a special guest referee. Wardlow pretty much have to go through a few matches before he actually get to wrestle MJF one-on-one to try to free himself from this contract. So that's going to be one of the matches. It's just Shawn Spears is just building up momentum. I think he's going to fall the same way we watched the Butcher fall, the same way we watched Lance Archer fall. build him up only just to knock him down. So that was a decent matchup. Shawn Spears, he don't get to wrestle too much one-on-one nowadays, so it was good to see him at least get a victory under his belt before he run into the brick wall Wardlow. We also got to see Ruby Soho and Rio go against each other to see who will advance in the Owen Hart's women's tournament. And Ruby Soho managed to get the victory. You could tell this was a matchup where these two women probably didn't wrestle each other much. They probably didn't have much chemistry going in. They still made it the best that they could. It wasn't a bad matchup. It was just kind of like the pace a little bit was weird. The balance was off between the two. But Ruby, they still managed to put on a decent matchup. I can't complain about that. Ruby Soho advances, but we also heard that Shida, with injuries or whatever, she's unable to. We also found out that Shida is unable to compete in her women's matchup. So for Red Velvet, she's going to have to go ahead and face Chris Statlander for her to be able to advance in the tournament. Now, Chris Statlander is one of those women also in that women's division that I love a lot. So I hope that she go ahead and get past Red Velvet. But with Red Velvet having a new faction behind her to possibly, help her get the edge on things, I don't know if that will be the case. Now, the big match, the match we've all been waiting for, Scorpio Sky, TNT Championship, defending against Frankie Kazarian. These two guys, SCU Tag Team Champions before, friends, gone at it one-on-one. These makes for the best matchups where you got two guys who wrestled together for so much, have great chemistry, know each other on personal levels. I feel like that brings out the best matchups inside of the ring, and this was a damn good matchup. It ended the exact way that I thought it would end. If you watch my video a couple days ago, I said the same thing would happen. Ethan Page and or Dan Lambert would somehow get themselves involved in this matchup, and they would go ahead and help Scorpio Sky win, whether he wanted to help or not. Now, Frankie had this match won. He had Scorpio Sky in a crossface. Scorpio Sky was absolutely out until Ethan Page came and laid Kazarian out with the belt. But the shock to me, it got me. I ain't gonna lie, you guys got me. At the end of the match, Scorpio Sky was pretty much forced to make a decision. You either with Ethan Page and Dan Lambert, or you with Frank Kazarian. He decided to stay with Ethan Page and Dan Lambert and said, look, it was a setup the whole time. My only problem with this is after the match, these two beat down Frank Kazarian a little bit, talk a little smack, and then you have Sammy and Tay Conti come out and make the save for Frankie Kazarian. Like what are we doing? What are we doing? I don't get it. I don't get it at all. So Sammy's he's a face again. I think he's a face again. And Scorpio Sky is a heel again. Yeah, that was okay. Alright. I'm let it roll. I ain't gonna kill y'all. I killed y'all a couple weeks ago. But okay. Alright. But anyway, that was the rundown. That was the replay of wrestling for this week of AEW and WWE. Pretty decent matchup. Pretty decent episodes. Like the storyline advancement on WWE. Like the action on AEW. Typically, it's kind of like that, but there's some weeks where WWE has some great matchups, and they don't end it like they had. I feel like somebody in the writing team or department got fired, and they was like, man, we got to wing it right now. I don't know what we're doing, but yeah. That was pretty much a week of wrestling. So, I will be doing a giveaway. We are almost at 1,000 subscribers. If you haven't already, please like and subscribe to the video. You already know what to do. But when we get that 1,000 subscribers mark, I will do a $100 giveaway to whoever my listeners are. I'll have the rules and everything like that on my Instagram page, so make sure you go to Instagram, check out At The Wrestling Replay to find out how you're able to sign on and how you're able to enter to win that. It's free to enter, don't have to buy anything, doesn't cost you guys anything. It's just appreciation for people coming to view the videos, for appreciation for people liking and subscribing and everything like that. So I appreciate it a lot. We're going to get that underway hopefully within like this month, man. It'll be awesome if we can get it before the Memorial Day holiday. I think that'll be pretty dope. We're going to start doing the rips of the cards of WWE Top. There is a WWE Top, I think a women's edition or women's division or something like that. I want to get a pack of those and rip those. Maybe that'll be the first pack that I rip here live on the Wrestling Replay channel and see what we pull from that. But it was pretty cool. So if you're into like trading cards or anything or interested, hit me up. Let me know, because I'm just kind of learning about the WWE cards. I see they do have numbered ones. I see they got some cool inserts, a lot of cool NWO inserts, so I'm happy about those. But yeah, it's gonna be good stuff going forward. Still got our retro replay videos that we're gonna put up. I want to get into interviews as well, so we're gonna have some interviews possibly in the near future. Hoping by the sometime we get some really good interviews taking place. So let me know what you guys think about the week of wrestling. Let me know what you guys think about Judgment Day. That is one of the factions I'm really keeping my eye on, because I want to see what's actually next with where they're going to go next, right? Let me know what you guys think about the Owen Hart tournament. Do you like the people that's in the tournament? Like, I'm looking at the tournament and I'm looking at the winners and losers in the bracket, and I'm like, man, I would have loved to see certain other wrestlers in there, especially with you having partnerships with so many other promotions. I'm like, man, y'all could have really went out and made this a great pure wrestling tournament. Like, it could have been fire. It hasn't been bad, but I'm like, man, it could have been so much better. And let you try and just keep it in-house with AEW. Completely understand that as well. But yeah, let me know what you guys think about the Owen Hart tournament. Those are the two biggest takeaways. But Hangman Page and CM Punk, right? I do want to talk about that for a quick second. Does Hangman Page get past CM Punk? CM Punk doesn't lose much. I feel like he does. And if he gets past CM Punk, I feel like Adam Cole, an undisputed elite, or whatever they want to be called now, they're going to break. I think they're going to break to where it's going to be the old Undisputed Era clique and the old Elite clique, and I think they're going to square off. Who is the next person to challenge Hangman Page for that title if he defeats CM Punk? Because I haven't really seen anyone really build their name for themselves outside of Warlow and the singles division for the men. To see who will actually be next, whether CM Punk or Hangman Page wins, whoever will be next, I don't see anyone building themselves up besides Wardlow. That's it. Let me know what you guys think. Maybe I'm thinking too much, but I think he should be the next person to challenge Hangman Page for that title if Hangman Page can get past CM Punk. But that about does it for me this week. You guys enjoy your week of wrestling. I will be back next week. Same time, same channel. I'm Cato. I'm signing out. Peace.